Mvuyisi Macikama from the National Skills Fund. Good afternoon, sir. How important is skills training in South Africa?
Good afternoon and good afternoon to the SABC viewers.
Thanks, sir.
Skills training is a very important process in the development of human beings. We regard this as a very important economic oil to make sure that the economic engine continues to run on an ongoing basis. So as young people emerge out of basic education, it becomes very important that they acquire a variety of skills so that they can contribute to the economy in the various sectors that we have in the country.
Now, what are the avenues and institutions that students may approach for skills training?
Other than universities and TVET colleges, the Department of Higher Education and Training also has institutions that are referred to as sector education and training authorities. These institutions are a linkage between the post-school education and training system and the rest of the world of work. They facilitate opportunities for training between the employers that you have in the country and also the learners who require access to different levels of skills. So you'll find in the TVETs, in the technical vocational education space, opportunities that are available that link young people to workplaces through interventions that are offered by the sector education and training authorities.
Now, to what extent are our matriculants prepared for skills training when they leave high school?
In the basic education system, there is exit marks that young people receive that enable them to enter different programs, whether at the university level or in a TVET college, and also in training that is offered in the workplace, in the workspaces. What they need in a number of instances is for them to acquire that basic education certificate that they are going to be receiving, most of them, as from tomorrow onwards. And also, most importantly, the desire to acquire a specific skill, especially if it's a skill that you feel very strongly that you want to build your career towards.
So you have these further education and training colleges, the FETs. What numbers are we looking at? How many pupils actually go into these FETs and other types of skills-based institutions?
On a year-to-year basis, we have been seeing a lot of improvement in the number of young people taking up skills in the TVET or in the technical vocational space. We are talking now about over 700,000 young people attending in technical vocational education training colleges across the country.
Now let's talk about the National Skills Fund. What exactly is this fund for?
The National Skills Fund is a fund that was set up in 1999-2000 as part of the Skills Development Act, with the main intention of providing funding for initiatives that will take young people into different skill sets that will be offered, whether in industry or in the TVET space or in different skills development providers that you find in the country. As you would know, there is quite a number of economic activities that are taking place across the country, and most of these would require very specific skills interventions and training that would be provided to young people. So a number of players in the space, be it colleges or private institutions that are involved in skills development, would then access funding whether through the sector education and training authorities or through the National Skills Fund, in order to provide training interventions that are required to build the capacity of the economy to grow.
Exactly. So now you must have, in your experience, identified the skills that our country requires. What are those skills that are that we actually need for our economy, for nation building, that are not very popular because they're actually under, you know, there are not too many people who are actually going for that.
Most skills that are directly required by the economy are those of an occupational nature, technical skills also, which would be required in order for the country to build its economy. We have a strategy in the country we refer to as the Industrial Policy Action Plan. This strategy calls upon for the country to build manufacturing, to go on industrialization, and also to undertake beneficiation. A number of those skills are occupational in nature and are technical. You would find that we require a lot of electricians, we require a lot of bricklayers, we require a lot of mechanists in the country that are very critical and necessary for manufacturing and for the growth of the industry in the country. Those are some of the skills that have been identified, and most of them we would refer to them as skills in the artisanal space. So we mainly require different types of artisans in order to make sure that manufacturing and industrialization does take place in the country. Of course, on an ongoing basis, the department also releases a list of occupations in high demand, and these lists assist both the Department of Home Affairs insofar as acquisition of skills from outside where the skill is not available in the country, and also assists different universities and colleges to plan the areas where there is a great demand for skills, and where the occupation is high demand are already indicating the need that is there in the country.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us and giving us that input, Mr. Mvuyisi Macikama from the National Skills Fund. We're going to take a short break and be back right after this.